We sat down for an interview with Matt Block from Run Out Groove Records.
They have a very unique system where they let you, the customers, vote on the next reissue they come out with.
Enjoy the interview.
The revolution is upon us. This is Get It on Vinyl.
So basically, we feature one pre-order title per month and 3 titles to be voted on. And our fans have the opportunity to vote on what becomes the next Run Out Groove title. And they're not obligated to buy it when they vote on it.
Okay.
Yeah. And so after they vote, we do a 30-day pre-order and take all the votes into account, and the winner then becomes the next Run Out Groove title. And obviously, a big part of it is that, you know, if we have like an artist involved, they support through their socials and kind of rally their fans, and that, you know, makes it a bigger thing. If we ran like 3 reissues against each other with no artist involvement, it would be a little more like an unknown as to who would or what was going to win next. Well, basically, you know, I was doing third-party licensing for Warner Music with a lot of clients like Sundazed and Light in the Attic, and was bringing them projects. And you know, it came to me one day that we could be doing this in-house, and that we had such a great roster of labels at our disposal, and that we could put new collections and new reissues, and I could go into the vault and we could basically do this on our own. That's the genesis of it. And then I brought in my partner, Brad McCormick, who really is the kind of the marketing behind Run Out Groove. In between us, we came up with the idea of like making it more of a fan-engaged experience. Really, because in the 20 years that I've been in the business, I was always hearing, you know, from retailers, especially because I've done a lot of sales and worked on that side of things, that they were so sick of like the major labels pretty much pushing records down fans' throats. I mean, I've heard that for so many years. I thought, well, with ours, I want to do it a little different. I want to engage the fan. I want to get, you know, ideas from the fans, because they know just as well as I do what they want to buy. So why not, you know, take that into account and get their feedback and allow them to vote, and let them send, you know, me emails about like records they'd like to see pressed, and it's really taken up. People, you know, really feel empowered. Basically, it comes down to, you know, a lot of like my taste, things that I feel like are holes in the marketplace. You know, I think eventually, like, people might think, well, Run Out Groove is like a very 90s leaning label, and the only reason that could come about is because there's so many holes. I think with maybe 1985 to like 2005, where a lot of records came out that either had one pressing or didn't have any vinyl pressing at all. So I think what I've done is I've focused a lot of our energy initially on a lot of like late 80s to early 2000s records. Although my personal taste is a lot of 60s and 70s, but it's been done a lot. I've also, you know, do spend a lot of time in our vault, you know, basically looking for like interesting things that we could potentially release. So a lot of things that you know, eventually will be put on the schedule come out of that as well. It's definitely, well, I mean, it's taken a little bit of time. I feel like with the first release, you know, and we didn't have a budget to do any marketing, so it was basically like passing the Amex card around. really, and doing some Facebook advertising and very DIY, grassroots kind of efforts. And Brad's done a great job on the marketing side because he understands like how to get to people through social media. I think once we came with the press release, when we did the second title, which was Echo and the Bunnymen, that kind of helped us take off a little bit because they were involved. They pushed it through their socials. A lot of fans came out and voted and then ended up purchasing Echo and the Bunnymen. And I think the combination of that with we're doing the press release and people saying, oh, that's a unique, concept. I think from that point, we've gained a little more steam, but it's still like a new thing. So I feel like every month it takes quite a bit of effort between Brad and I to reach out to press ourselves. And also on the retail side of things, like all of our direct retail partners get an opportunity to buy our records within the 30-day pre-order. But since it's not on a normal solicitation cycle and it's a little like unique, they even need to be reminded, like, we've got this title and you only have 30 days to order. It was basically my idea, and I kind of ran it up the flagpole at Warner Music, and I think that I've gotten an incredible amount of support at the higher levels because the executives were seeing like what I was doing with third-party licensing and the fact that I was kind of coming up with and producing my own projects internally. They saw that the genesis for Runout Groove really was already there. It was like the embryonic stages were already there, and they really liked the concept. And the fact is that obviously vinyl is is a burgeoning format right now, and we didn't have anything like focused on the D2C side of things. So I think the combination of all that seemed very compelling to them. But to be honest with you, I was a little surprised, like being allowed to promote a very grassroots indie type of label within a larger corporate structure. I was a little concerned, but I've been given a lot of autonomy, and I think that that's what's making it work right now. Well, I think right now, it's obviously easier for us to exploit the catalog that we control. But I think the goal down the road really is to, look at like other catalogs that we don't control and potentially license in some of that repertoire, especially like going direct to artists. And I've already started having conversations with some artists that control their own repertoire and potentially will bring that music in and do some unique projects that way. Yeah, I mean, up till this point, we've been using Record Industry in the Netherlands. We have a really good relationship with them. They have good quality control. We have like the ability to kind of manage like our titles through their system, which we don't everywhere else. So it's been a good relationship. Plus, they take videos of our records on press and take photographs, and they send us that, and we're able to use that via social media to engage the fan and kind of show them that here's our process. We know that you have to be patient about waiting for our records, but we're going to bring you along this process, not only give you a story about the records that we're choosing to do, but also show you how they're pressed and where they're pressed. And I think people really have taken a liking to that process. We've been using Stoughton printing in LA for a lot of our jackets, specifically because they do a great tip-on jacket, which I don't know if you're familiar with, but it's like an old school type paper wrap jacket that they used to use in the 50s and 60s.
Sure.
That I think the industry's gotten away from, that I wanted to go back to because they're really high quality. Well, with MC5, we had our designer go into Stoughton and basically do a press check where he did a video of the jackets on press. We loaded that video on Facebook, and people really liked it. They thought it was great because not a lot of labels are doing that. So we wanted to kind of bring them into the process, and we're going to continue to do that for a lot of our releases. You know, the fact that I can be creative, I mean, I'm a record collector myself, so, you know, just the research of it and the ability to, you know, bring to life, like, you know, projects that I feel passionate about, because it really, at the end of the day, it's about the music, you know, and that's kind of why I started this. You know, I love music. I'm a big collector, and you know, the stories and getting to work with the artists, and you know, that's really like, you know, obviously there's a lot of challenges day to day, and, you know, it's not all about like having fun and, you know, the creative side of it. It's a lot about administration and getting people paid and looking at our budget and P&Ls and stuff, which is the business aspect. But, you know, when I get to see like a project take off and an artist is really excited about that, and there's unreleased content, and we get to work on the artwork together. It really is like an embryonic process, and seeing that from the start to finish is a very rewarding thing for me. Well, I mean, I would be remiss in saying that, you know, Dusty Groove here in Chicago, because I live in Chicago, is probably one of the greatest record stores on the planet. You know, I spend a lot of time there. I'm friends with Rick. It's wonderfully merchandised. I've learned so much more about jazz because that's my passion. Personally, I love that store. What else? I think all the record stores in Chicago are really great. We've got such a great retail base here. I mean, obviously, like, you know, my parents live in LA, so I spend a lot of time at record stores there. Amoeba is such a great record store that I always get out to when I visit. Freak Beat in LA is a great store. CD Trader is a great store in LA. You know, there's so many on my list that I haven't even gotten to. I've always wanted to go to Princeton Record Exchange, and I've never gotten a chance to go there. I love the Jazz Record Center in New York just because I'm a jazz buff, so it's all jazz. So I love that one. I don't know. I'm a huge, you know, supporter of indie retail, and I wanted to gear Run Out Groove to be supportive of that, and that's what we've done. We've, you know, I literally like will reach out to record stores myself about like our orders, and honestly, like if they're running late on time, they'll send me their orders. I'll send them straight to customer service myself. It's like literally we'll do everything just because I don't want any record stores to miss our releases. And it's not about the money. It's about we want to make sure that all the independents are covered if they want to carry our stuff. Right now we're wrapping up the Stooges highlights from the Funhouse sessions. That pre-order will end, you know, at midnight on the 4th of July. We've got some great response to that. Right now, in the voting, Morphine is leading the way, and that's like an unreleased live show from '97, which we're pretty excited about. I kind of expected that the fans would pretty much come out in droves on that one. It's never been released before. We've got Dana Colley, who's been involved, and he's pushed the fans, and, you know, they're very rabid about that group. And Vapors and Morphine's on tour right now, so it feels like everything's kind of coming together for that release. We got a couple other things in the queue down the road, like a live Marshall Crenshaw release when he toured for his debut record from '82. So I don't think there's any other document from that era of his career. So that will go into voting. We're working on a new Dr. John collection with one LP of all unreleased material from like the 68 to like 74 era, which I'm pretty excited about because I like Dr. John a lot. We're working on a Delaney and Bonnie project. We're working on a Baby Huey project. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had that one record on Kurtom. Well, I found a completely unreleased reel of his stuff that he did right before he released that Kurtom record. It's really exciting stuff. It's like Hendrix meets Funkadelic, kind of the record he probably wanted to make, but the manager at the time probably said, well, let's put some horns on it. Let's make it a little more palatable. I mean, the Kurtom Baby Huey Story record is a great record, but I think if voted on, this new piece that we've got is really exciting. I think DJs will come out, and there's a lot of half of it's instrumental, half of it's vocals. He does like a cover of Like a Rolling Stone, but it's really killer, really acid drenched. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, we've got some cool stuff that we're digging into. A lot of 90s stuff like Dinosaur Jr. and Jack's Mannequin, and even some 60s stuff. Like I want to put together an Idol Race singles collection, and we really want to kind of dust off artists that maybe were overlooked a little bit. That's kind of part of this whole thing. We want to tell a story about what I would call legendary and very unique artists that might need a relook at some point.